Dad came home one day with big news. I just landed a job as the special effects coordinator for Channel 2. You see, this wasn't like Dad getting a job in Channel 4 or 6, and definitely not like the boring educational Channel 10. No, we didn't have 10 channels. They named it 10 to make us Salvadorians feel like we had more than 4 crappy stations. Channel 2 hosted the wildly popular Jardin Infantil, the Garden of Babies. Some things just don't translate. But think of like the Gong Show for kids in a third world country hosted by clowns. Angry drunken clowns. And every kid in El Salvador dreamed of being on it. I can just see it now, me being introduced by the host of the show, Chirajito, Dish Rag. And now El Salvador's new singing sensation, Darito. Next week, Dad had to work the late shift. Perfect. I wouldn't have to miss a school day to go with him. So I get to see my dad in action. He's designing the Channel 2 logo, and he's come up with a way to make it rotate not only from left to right, but also, ready? Up and down. In the corner of your TV screen. Well, this isn't exactly Pixar or CGI. But in 1976, in a country where you had to pour water in the toilet to make it flush, this was impressive. By the time it was finished, the sun was coming out. Okay, it's time to go. Vámonos. My chances of stardom were slipping away. That's when fate stepped in the form of station manager Don Ricardo. You had to put a Don in front of it, out of respect. So I very casually asked, Don Ricardo, can I see the set of J.I., huh? Can I? I'm sure Don Ricardo is too busy and tired to be doing this now. Well, just a few minutes won't kill me. Nailed it. We turned the corner and there it was. The set of the magnificent Jardin Infantil. And it was all in color. Televisions in El Salvador were in black and white. So I very casually asked, Don Ricardo, can I audition for the show, huh? Can I? Oh, you're Fredo's kid. You don't have to audition. Nailed it. How about my daughter, Rocio? She loved the show, too. I can't believe it. He's already using my celebrity status to get my no-talent sister in the door. Riding my coattail even before I got in the coat. What if Don Ricardo gets insulted? Why not? Oh, as we were leaving, we ran into none other than Willie Maldonado, the Salvadorian Bob Barker, the man responsible for the hugely popular game show Feliz Fin de Semana. And I see that set, and oh my God, it's in color too. There it is. My most favorite game in the whole wide world, Toca la Coca-Cola, where contestants to win had to crawl along a gyrating board that's suspended about 5 feet in the air while trying to touch a Coke bottle dangling on the string at the end of the board before falling off and hoping to land on an old mattress underneath the floor. Can I try Toca la Coca-Cola, huh? Can I? No, son, you're too little. Besides, Coca-Cola and Superman are the symbols of the Yankee imperialism. They are dangling the Coke bottle in front of us, that Coca-Cola bottle. Huh? And us Salvadorians, they want to touch it, but we'll never reach it. And the only thing we have to hope for is not get hurt. Yankee? Well, maybe if Fredo holds it for you, then maybe you can try. Dad couldn't say no. So there I am, touching the Coke bottle in front of Willie Maldonado himself. I had arrived. Filming for Jardin Infantil began at 6 a.m. with an introduction to the clowns. Chirajito himself stepped up to me. Following the traditions of clowns everywhere, he reeked of booze. Hello, little boy. 5 minutes to showtime. Thank you, fine. Chaos breaks out. There are 3 rows of seats for us kids. The first row is for the principal kids, the kids with actual talent. The second row is for the less talented kids that come after the first commercial break. Somehow, in the pandemonium of everyone taking their seat, I get shoved on the 3rd row with the no talent background kids, where my sister belonged. I very gently touch one of the clowns on the shoulder and go, "Excuse me, Mr. Clown, there must be some..." "Listen, you little shithead. Sit your ass down, and when that camera light is on, don't make a fucking sound." Meanwhile, my sister's still sitting on the 1st row with a big stupid smile on her face. Hollywood is a cruel, cruel business. Even in El Salvador. When it's announced on the set that a principal kid is a no-show, I'm starting to realize my sister has more talent than I give her credit for, because she's definitely acting like she doesn't even know I'm there. Rosillo, Rosillo, ¿qué te dije, monocerote? Then, by a streak of luck, I managed to catch Don Ricardo's attention. "What's Fredo's kid doing on the 3rd row? He's our missing principal." As a kid is singing, I feel somebody grab the back of my shirt. "Hey, it's this rat." Rips me out of the chair. "You little bastard, why didn't you say you were talented? Come on, you're the closing act." Then he sees Don Ricardo looking at him. "Ah, have fun out there. And don't fuck up." And he shoves me in. De colores, de colores. Personally, my performance that day wasn't up to its usual brilliance. But in school on Monday, it didn't seem to matter. Everyone had seen me on television. "Mira el muchacho de Jardin Infantil." Then, one voice cuts through all the others. Elvira, a 5th grader. "Hola, Darío. Yo te vi en Jardín Infantil. ¿Me puedo sentar contigo?" "Por favor, Elvira." 8 years old, and I've been through the showbiz ringer. Benefited from nepotism. Watched less talented performers get the attention I deserve. Had to deal with the demands of the public. And I've been dragged by my shirt by an angry clown. An angry, drunken clown. That Sunday afternoon in the summer of 1980, my mom is getting the house ready because Dad is coming home from a 2-week vacation. He had left with some of the guys from the TV station, including Pepito, host of another favorite show, Pepito's Playhouse. Baby Maya was sleeping in her crib. Rosillo and I are just hanging around the living room, keeping an eye out for Dad, and all we could think was, what would Dad bring us back from Mexico? Clean up this mess. Pick up those toys. ¿Qué par de huevones tengo yo viviendo acá? Oh, Mom's never been upset about the toys like this before. On March 20, the man who was to El Salvador what Gandhi was to India had been murdered by military assassins. He was shot through the heart as he was delivering Mass. His name was the Archbishop Oscar Romero. The killings hadn't started with Monsignor Romero. El Salvador's coffee-based economy is divided between a wealthy ruling class and a huge class of poor laborers. The middle class was just a tiny thread between the two. For years, there have been violent power struggles against the military regime and the anti-government rebels. But after the assassination of Monsignor Romero, it felt like it was night all day long. 70,000 people will end up being brutally killed. Unarmed demonstrators were gunned down in the steps of the cathedral. Their blood turned the steps red. People will wake up in the morning and find their family members hacked to pieces, stuffed in the burlap sacks that were left by the front door. My sister and I used to carry white handkerchiefs in the pockets of our school uniforms in case chaos broke out when we were at school or coming home. Mom told us we were supposed to lay the white handkerchiefs out next to us. And to be on the safe side, I used to put mine over my head because I heard the handkerchiefs didn't work. The white handkerchief was supposed to symbolize that we were neutral, innocent in the political movement. But my dad used to love drawing funny cartoons about the government. I wanted to show them to my friends, but my dad said, no, these are for grown-ups only. But he stopped drawing anything after Monsignor Romero, and he looked pale all the time. He never smiled. Because of his groundbreaking work on the Channel 2 logo, Channel 4 had hired him to be their special effects coordinator. But even that didn't help. That's why Dad had to take the vacation. So as we're finishing cleaning up our toys, Padre's home, and even Mom looks happy. Rocio and I head to our room so we can give our parents their adult time. But we don't hear none of the commotion that usually accompanies the return of a loved one. So I peek out the door, look down the hall, and in front of our house is none other than Pepito himself. For a Salvadoran kid, it's like having Justin Bieber and Pee Wee Herman all rolled into one, standing in our doorway. Rocio, Mom's talking to the real Pepito. Where's Papi? Maybe he's getting our toys out of the car. Yeah! So we burst out of the door, sprint down the hall, and get to the front door where my mom is standing very still. As we see Pepito pull off on his car, I notice that my mom has a letter in her hand. Pepito has brought us some news from your father. He says he loves us very much, and as he's having so much fun in his vacation, he wants us to join him. ¿En México? No, en los Estados Unidos. El Norte. Off in the distance, I hear what might be the sound of a car backfiring or something else. Children, come inside. Darillito, close the door.